Previously, we've learned about Open Container Initiative image spec that defines how container image should be structured and processed. It might surprise you, but to run a container, you don't actually need a container image. Instead, you need a bundle. Container runtime has no idea what to do with container images. Container bundle contains everything needed to run a container. It's not actually much, only a config file and a complete root file system. There is no standard name for such bundles. You will find it's called File System Bundle, OCI Bundle, Runtime Bundle, and the Container Bundle. I will use the latter name. The root file system part of the Container Bundle is literally just a collection of files and folders that will be available inside the container when it runs. The config file part is a bit more interesting. This config file is the runtime spec definition of how to run the container. It defines such things as which environment variables to give to container, which user ID, which volumes to mount, which process to run, and so on. When you run docker run command with many options, most of those options eventually end up in this kind of config file. The logical question is, what about container images? What's their relation with the container bundle?
Do you think your project infrastructure is well set and maintained? We know for sure there is always room for improvement. If you are uncertain where to begin, let's first do an audit of what you already have. We will review your setup from every angle: performance, cost, security, high availability, automation, and provide you with a detailed roadmap of which direction your infrastructure should go, generate concrete tasks for you to implement, or even take on your infra entirely, if you let us, of course.
The closest analogy are the software packages on your Linux system. If you want to install PostgreSQL package on CentOS, you need to download it from somewhere in the form of an RPM file. You can get it from the YAM repository or download directly from some website. When you install this RPM package, it will be unpacked on your machine by the package manager. New files will appear in different directories, like a PostgreSQL config file, data directory, and binaries required to run PostgreSQL. Finally, after the package is installed, you can run PostgreSQL. This way, container images are similar to RPM packages, and container bundle is what you get when you install this package. Your operating system doesn't need to know anything about YAM repositories or RPM packages to run PostgreSQL. Same with container runtime. It doesn't need to know anything about container images and registries to run a container, but it does need some files to do it. The collection of these files is a container bundle. While runC works only with container bundles, the higher-level tools like Docker are aware about container images. When you try to run a container from an image, such high-level tool will unpack the image into the container bundle, and then will use this bundle to spawn a container with runC. This means that you don't need the container image to run the container, but it is for sure much easier to use container images and a tool that can unpack them to container bundles than creating container bundles directly. To work with container bundles, we will need some helper tools. In the next video, we will install another tool that will help us to work with container bundles.